So typically when we talk in terms of hot dogs were actually created as a sausage, and it was at a particular event, and supposedly in New York City they ran out of food, and the guy had these sausages and he put it on a roll, and they called them hot dogs. Okay, in Germany I think it was named after the Dachshund, so they were hot Dachshunds. And they came over here, and the sports writer didn't know how to write Dachshund or spell it while he's writing the column, so he just called it a hot dog.
How
and that's where he got
American is
his.
that?
That's exactly right.
It is.
The hot dog probably is the first meat item that was sold in concessions, so there's a little bit of history. And the one reason why it's so popular is because it could be prepared on a grill like this, slapped in a bun, and handed to people, and you can eat it. And once you've eaten it, what's left?
Aluminum.
Nothing. Aluminum foil or a piece of paper. That's right. Subsequent to that, we've gotten much more complicated, and so we have things like Italian sausages, and we've got bratwurst, and we've got cheese-filled sausages, and so forth and so on. But to keep things simplified, I just wanted to give you a little bit of the history. This right here is called a roller grill. It's not your typical roller grill. Most of the time, a roller grill will have little rollers on it, and inside each roller is a heating element. And it cooks the hot dog very slowly, and the hot dog rolls back and forth. That's why it's called roller grill. Okay, and typically there's going to be what this is called is the grease tray. So as you can see, as hot dogs cook, they release some of the moisture, the fat. It rolls down, and you want to collect that. So that's why the rollers allow the grease to kind of drip off the hot dog and into the grease tray. This is a little bit more unique kind of piece. It's smaller. It was easier to fit in the trunk of my car. But it might explain a little bit better about roller grill. If we took this piece off, and it will come off for cleaning purposes, and I took this and I just changed the angle, what does that look like? A flat top grill. And all we're doing is we're making sure that it doesn't stick and burn. Okay? So that's why we want it to continually roll back and forth. So roller grill, this is made by Secretors and Company. Gold Medal Products makes roller grills. Probably they're the leaders in the industry when it comes to roller grills. They make them in different sizes. So the way you would know about a particular roller grill is if you got, let's say, a 60 item. Roller grill 60. What they're really telling you is it cooks 60 hot dogs an hour. If you got a roller grill 360, how many hot dogs could you cook in an hour? 360. So when you see the number next to a roller grill, basically tells you how many you can cook per hour. Now, if you notice the hot dogs right here, do you see how they're kind of changing colors? What happens is every hot dog is a mixture of the meat product, typically fillers, fat, sugar, and moisture, water. So if you ever went to a hot dog factory, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Okay, they take all these meat products, they put them in a grinder, and it comes out almost like baby food. And they put it in
And they
coolers.
shape it into delicious.
It's all the parts of the animal that you don't want.
That's not necessarily true. You're going to learn something.
Is it all the same?
Okay, and then what they do is they take the intestines, okay, and they hang it like this, and they just push the baby food all the way through the intestines. This becomes, the intestine part becomes what they call the casing. It holds the hot dog together. So you'll end up with all kinds of different casings. So when you're looking at hot dogs, if you get in this industry, you're going to want to ask them what kind of casing it is. A Nathan's hot dog has a very strong casing. In other words, you can take it, it snaps. Some hot dogs, like Bryan hot dogs, have a very soft casing. So when you bite into it, it's almost like just eating something soft. So that's just another variable. What you're seeing here on the outside, anybody know what that black stuff is? Want to guess?
Where?
On the roller grill, or you'll see even brown here.
Oh yeah, the
Huh?
char.
Cooked grease.
Nope,
Please don't say something gross.
it's sugar. So the sugar in here, as the hot dog cooks, as you boil water, it expands, right? So the inside here is expanding. And as it expands, the sugar moisture comes out, and it basically is caramelizing. So that's what that is. So it's caramelized sugar. If the casing breaks, what happens to the hot dog?
It starts spewing.
Huh?
It starts like spewing.
All the moisture comes out, and it'll shrink up and look like an old wrinkled up I was going to say weenie, but I don't want to say that. It's all wrinkled up, okay?
Like a raisin.
Wrinkled up hot dog. All right, so that's kind of the basics. Now, the one thing that I will tell you that's different about Malco hot dogs than any other hot dog, we serve what's called an all-natural hot dog. 100% Angus beef. It has no fillers, no nitrates, no sulfates, no MSG. It's meat only and fats.
Wow.
So there is no chicken. There is no parts that people don't want to eat.
I got one on Sunday and it was pretty good.
There you go. You're going to
Good
get
know
another
that
one today.
Good to know it's all natural.
Well, yeah. One of the problems with processed meat is processors use nitrates and sulfates to protect the life of the meat because it's already been taken out, chopped up, processed, and then they don't want it to go bad. So if you study the history of the Pilgrims coming across the ocean, they would just cover all their meats in salt. They'd make it so salty that bacteria couldn't grow on it. The same process happens with processed foods. MSG, sulfates, nitrates, salt, all of these different items are plugged in so it doesn't become harmful. Now, I've given you a little bit of a history there. I could talk for hours on hot dogs, but I was going to tell you that there's also, we talked about presentation. A lot of times you'll go to a facility and you'll see something like this. It's a hot dog. It's either in a bag or it's wrapped, and it'll be in a warmer like this, right? So you ordered a hot dog, right? There's your hot dog. Let me enjoy it. At Malco, we do it a little bit different. One thing that's going to happen with this, when it's wrapped in this tin foil, the moisture from the dog is going to steam and it's going to make the bun
Soggy.
gooey. Have y'all ever had one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good, right? You pay $5 for something like that, you're going like, why did I do that? Okay? Oscar Mayer years ago developed what we call a hot dog coffin, or a clamshell, because it looks like a clam, okay? And so we sort of adopted the same concept. While these aren't Oscar Mayer hot dogs, what ends up happening is you get this hot dog in here, okay? And these can sit in a warmer, and you can see the size. How big is that hot dog? You can't see.
Probably like 6 inches.
Don't really know, right?
Don't know.
Yeah. And in this particular case, if I hadn't opened this and the steam wasn't out, you could actually see how big the hot dog is and whether or not it's fresh or not. That makes sense? So we like to use this. The other piece is that, Kevin, if I give you this hot dog and you open it up, I can give you a ketchup, a mustard, and a relish, right? And you can put your hot dog together and you've got something to hold it in. All right? Now, sometimes you'll go to facilities and they'll give you a hot dog that kind of looks like this. It's in what we call a food boat or a food tray. That's kind of nice, right? Doesn't have a top on it. You know it's probably fresh, right? But now that I've got it out here like this, I have 2 parts to carry. I can't wrap that up and put it in my pocket. I mean, I could wrap that up and put it in a coat pocket, take it to the seat. This right here, it'd be kind of hard to put in my coat pocket, right? To carry extra things. So you'll see this a lot of times in skating rinks and places like that, because you're there, you're going to sit down, you're going to eat it right away, you're not walking around. Question?
Does Malco do the packets, or do they just have like the pumps?
Okay.
Good packet.
Because if you have the pumps, then that is more efficient, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because you don't have to like mess with it. and do all
Yes.
that.
So in this particular case, these are different types of packets. I like these because you can either dip it or break it off and squeeze it. Okay. In our higher end theaters, what we do is we take and give you ketchup and mustard in these units right here. Put about 2 ounces of everything in there, and then we put it right with the hot dog. Okay?
Olives, okay.
These are black olives here, but you could imagine ketchup or mustard or relish inside that. So that's a little bit higher end. And again, we've talked about value proposition and what the presentation should look like. That looks a whole lot more expensive than that. These are called portion control, or PC. So if you hear the term PC, the reason we do this is so that we know that you're getting 1 ounce or a ½ ounce or 2 ounces, whatever the portion control size is, every time. Stadiums a lot of times use the pumps because of volume. There's so much ketchup and mustard going out, they're just going to let you pump it out, which is less expensive than these units. Make sense? So everything has a purpose or a reason. The reason I made a few of these up in advance is because I just wanted to show you kind of the difference. When I made this hot dog right here, I put fresh grated cheese on it. You see how the cheese is sort of melted? And then I made this cheese hot dog right here with nacho cheese. Now, which one would you rather have?
Fresh melted cheese.
The fresh melted cheese. Why?
So it looks way better.
It looks better. What about this one? We could put jalapenos on there, onions, whatever. Either or. What I'm talking here is just about presentation. This right here happens to be a Chicago dog, so it's going to have lettuce and tomato and pickles. I threw some olives on there just for color, but again, it's about garnish. It's about making a hot dog. So this hot dog right here is on the menu board at $5. This hot dog right here is on the menu board for $5. This hot dog is on the menu board for $5.50. Which one are you going to pick?
The one in the clamshell.
Yeah, that one.
Why?
I don't want all that stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. In other words, some people don't like lettuce and pickles on their hot dog, right? So that's why we offer some variety. So you'll end up with some. There's a hot dog store in Bartlett, and they have like 50 different ways to get a hot dog.
It's a hot dog.
Really?
store.
In Bartlett?
Yeah. What's it called?
Like a restaurant?
Oh.
Yes. It's
Like that thing that used to be in the mall?
yeah, it's kind of like that. Gourmet hot dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. So if anybody wants a hot dog, that hot dog is good. It's nice and warm. And I have other hot dogs over here, and I have a few buns, and then you can put your own condiments on there.
It's dogs, right?
Okay.
Are they all, you said there's
Yeah,
no pork
yeah,
or chicken in them?
Not in these right here. These hot dogs, now, there's a difference. Oh, I gotta tell you this. It's very important. So when you start buying hot dogs, you buy hot dogs by the pound.
Right? Okay.
Very important. Remember this. Hot dogs come by the pound. Typically, they'll come in a case that looks about this size, maybe about half of 10-pound cases. Okay? When you buy hot dogs, you buy them in this ratio: 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1, 8-to-1, and you buy them by length. Typically, you want them as long as the bun, and the buns are usually 6 inches. So, what does that 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1 indicate?
4 hot dogs to 1 bun.
No, close. I thought you had it. 4 hot dogs to the pound. So, if you had a 4-to-1 hot dog, you could also call it a quarter pounder.
That's a big old hot dog.
Yeah. If you had a 5-to-1, okay, it would look almost the same size as a 4-to-1, but you're getting 5 or 50 in the case as opposed to 40 in the case. Why would that be important?
So that you can have extra
No. I buy a case of hot dogs.
cooking.
They're 40 in the case. 40 times 5 equals what? $200. Now I get 50 to the case. 50 times 5 is how much? $250. So for the same case of hot dogs, I'm getting $250 versus $200. And they almost look the same. Does that make sense? These right here happen to be 6-to-1 hot dogs. So a lot of times as a decision maker at Malco, and the hot dog price continues to go up. So let's just say hot dogs were $3 a pound. Now they've gone up to $4 a pound. If I want to keep making money, what do I have to do? Either raise the price, right, or lower the cost. How would I lower the cost?
Get cheaper hot dogs.
No, I don't want cheaper hot dogs. Matter of fact, these hot dogs right here are the highest grade hot dogs you can buy. I swear to God.
Well, with the packaging, if you just did the aluminum foil.
You
it's
could
a
go
little
to
cheaper.
aluminum foil as opposed to this. As a matter of fact, this piece of aluminum foil
Is that-
cost a penny. This cost 8 cents.
If those were cheaper, I'd buy more than one.
Like if you did like 2 for $5 or 2 for $7.
What if I did this? Instead of having a 4-to-1, I went to a 5-to-1. I can leave the price of the hot dog still at $5, and I can still make the same amount of money. So you get a smaller portion without really knowing it, and I don't have to raise the price. Isn't that what you want? You don't want to pay more than $5 for a hot dog. Okay? But we want to have the highest quality possible. All right. You learn something every day, right? Okay. Fix yourself a hot dog and get back to your seats. We got to confuse you some more.
Question,
How
what
should
is
we
this hot
take
shot
the-
thing? Because I saw it on Shark Tank. I watch Shark Tank every day.